Bienvenue ce soir au Centre universitaire méditerranéen pour cette très belle conférence. Et je voudrais, au nom de Christian Estrosi, avec ma collègue Martine Waknin, adjointe au maire de Nice, saluer la présence de Caroline Posmentier, vice-présidente de la région, et bien sûr Virginie Atlan, qui est du cabinet du président de la métropole, vous dire combien nous sommes heureux de vous accueillir dans ce lieu, ce haut lieu de la pensée à Nice, ce centre universitaire méditerranéen où se tiennent tant de conférences de qualité, et celle-ci, évidemment, en est une très importante. Alors, bien sûr, je voudrais vous rappeler que Nice est une ville amie d'Israël. J'ai coutume de dire, et Caroline ne le prendra pas mal, mais nous sommes la grande ville de France la plus proche d'Israël par la géographie, et ça, c'est incontestable. Et je me pique aussi de dire que nous le sommes par le cœur, et ça c'est quelque chose qui nous tient particulièrement à nous tous, qui défendons l'amitié avec Israël. C'est une année très importante, puisque c'est le 70e anniversaire de la création de l'État d'Israël, c'est aussi le 50e anniversaire de notre jumelage avec la ville de Netanya, et donc de nombreuses manifestations vont jalonner cette année pour sceller et pour manifester encore notre amitié avec Israël. Nous étions présents bien sûr au Grand Palais il y a quelques semaines maintenant, pour le lancement de l'année croisée France-Israël, qui va nous permettre aussi de développer les échanges, les renforcer encore entre nos deux pays. Nous avons pour notre part mis en place un programme très important pendant toute l'année, notamment la semaine dernière au salon Innovative City, où nous avons mis l'État d'Israël à l'honneur en invitant 4 villes israéliennes, la ville de Tel Aviv, la ville de Netanya, Ashdod et Eilat, qui ont pu présenter leur savoir-faire dans le domaine de la Smart City. Et venant d'un pays qui est la Startup Nation, eh bien, croyez-moi, les échanges ont été très fructueux et évidemment très intéressants, et beaucoup d'autres événements vont ainsi se développer dans les semaines qui viennent. Et je vais me rendre moi-même en Israël au mois de juillet pour les 90 ans de la ville de Netanya, qui a décidé de mettre à l'honneur ces villes jumelles. Alors nous sommes donc très heureux, au nom de Christian Estrosi, d'accueillir 2 personnalités extrêmement importantes et auxquelles nous sommes très, très attachés. Je veux penser d'abord à Bernar Venet, un artiste de grand talent, un artiste auquel la ville de Nice est particulièrement attachée parce qu'il y a des œuvres chez nous qui sont absolument incontournables. Il y a d'abord l'arc, qui maintenant trône au cœur du jardin Albert Ier, qui est l'endroit emblématique de notre ville, et cet arc qui depuis maintenant plusieurs décennies est devenu le signal de la ville de Nice, et depuis le 150e anniversaire du rattachement de Nice à la France, je pense aux lignes obliques qui sont maintenant sur le quai des États-Unis et qui là sont un signal qu'on voit de partout. Dès qu'on arrive à Nice, on voit ces flèches qui montent vers le ciel. Et quand on est de loin, tout le monde se dit « mais qu'est-ce que c'est ?» Puis quand on est de près, on est très impressionné, évidemment, par l'œuvre monumentale. Et ce qui est curieux, c'est que, évidemment, l'art moderne, souvent, a tendance à bousculer, à choquer, voire même. Et je vois beaucoup de gens qui me disaient, lorsque l'œuvre a été posée, ah non, on n'aime pas du tout, et qui me disent maintenant, écoutez, franchement, c'est bien, parce que maintenant, c'est chez nous, ça illustre notre ville. Donc, je voulais vous rapporter ces propos de gens qui étaient carrément hostiles à l'œuvre et qui sont devenus maintenant des fans. Voilà, alors ça, c'est votre talent, évidemment, qui nous amène à cette conquête des esprits grâce à votre art. Et donc, je fais le lien entre l'art et l'esprit et le cerveau, puisque nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir le professeur Idan Segev, qui enseigne au centre Edmond et Lily Safra sur le cerveau. Alors là, je serai moins disert, parce que, évidemment, je connais moins vos travaux que ceux de Bernar Venet, mais je suis très heureux de voir qu'on ait pu rapprocher l'art et le cerveau, parce que de toute façon, il n'y a pas d'art sans cerveau, hein, et puis finalement, il n'y a pas vraiment de beau cerveau sans art. Donc je pense que vous allez être en mesure de nous expliquer tout ça et de nous parler de ces sujets majeurs, parce qu'ils sont vraiment très importants pour l'homme, pour la femme, pour la société, pour l'humanité. Voilà, donc je voudrais tous et toutes vous remercier d'avoir accepté cette invitation cet après-midi. Nous allons passer tout de suite à la présentation d'un film sur l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. L'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem que j'ai eu l'occasion de visiter plusieurs fois. Et à chaque fois qu'on va à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem, on est impressionné parce que c'est un creuset de l'intelligence, du savoir et de l'innovation. Et je dois vous dire que j'ai aussi un petit repère un petit peu idiot finalement, mais figurez-vous qu'à chaque fois que je mange, et ma femme adore acheter des mini tomates, vous savez, les tomates cerises, eh bien, elles ont été inventées à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. Et à chaque fois que j'en mange une, je pense à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. Alors, ça n'est pas la seule raison pour laquelle j'ai de l'admiration pour cette université, mais j'ai été toujours très frappé, d'abord parce que c'est un endroit où se retrouvent des populations, des jeunes, des étudiants venant de tous les pays, y compris des étudiants arabes. Les gens le savent assez peu. Et puis, il y a au cœur de cette université aussi quelque chose qui m'a beaucoup frappé, un olivier qui est planté et qui est penché, qui est tordu, parce qu'à cet emplacement-là, il y a quelques années, il y avait eu un attentat terrible. Et les Israéliens ont toujours le sens du symbole, et ils ont voulu placer à l'endroit même de cet attentat un olivier, qui est l'olivier de la paix. Mais comme il a été bousculé par cet attentat, eh bien, il n'est pas planté droit dans la terre comme d'habitude. Il est placé dans un pot qui est un peu penché pour montrer qu'il a souffert, qu'il a été bousculé, mais qu'il est toujours là, debout. Nous voyons maintenant l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. Je vous remercie.
Est-ce que vous connaissez l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem ? Jérusalem, vous connaissez ? Ok, d'accord. Mais l'Université de Jérusalem, vous connaissez ? On a réfléchi aux qualificatifs que l'on pouvait employer pour vous présenter l'université. Évidemment, au début, on avait pensé à ça, puis à ça. Et même à ne pas hésiter à dire que nous sommes les meilleurs. Mais en fin de compte, on a pensé qu'il valait mieux directement vous montrer ça. Parce que tous les jours on prépare demain, aujourd'hui l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem est à la pointe de la recherche dans de multiples disciplines. En 100 ans d'existence, l'UAJ a accueilli nombre de scientifiques exceptionnels dont les découvertes n'ont cessé d'améliorer et de sauver des vies. Et comme, même à Jérusalem, il n'arrive pas tout le temps des miracles, alors chaque jour, on innove. L'UAJ, grâce à son approche pluridisciplinaire, a réalisé le rêve de tous les chercheurs, trouver des solutions aux problèmes les plus complexes. Et vous savez qui a été l'un des fondateurs de l'université, Albert Einstein. Il était mauvais élève, certes, mais il a eu 2-3 bonnes idées dans sa vie. La première pierre fut posée en 1918, bien avant la création de l'État d'Israël. Einstein, Buber, Bialik, Weizmann, Freud en furent les initiateurs. L'université a ouvert ses portes en 1925 et a abrité depuis plusieurs générations de penseurs, de chercheurs, d'innovateurs et même de génies. L'UAJ, c'est 100 ans de savoir au service de l'avenir. Résultat, 9 prix Nobel et une médaille Fields, dont 8 dans les 10 dernières années. Ça se fête, non ? Alors musique ! 23 000 étudiants et près de 1000 professeurs venus de tous les continents travaillent dans tous les domaines. Afin de préparer le futur, l'UAJ a mis à disposition de ses chercheurs 4 pôles d'excellence qui vont impacter chaque être humain à travers la planète. Avec de l'imagination et de la créativité, l'impossible devient possible. Ce miracle-là a lieu ici, tous les jours, à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem.
Excuse me, Professor. You think your university project can succeed? Okay, I get it.
So many beautiful people looking for a miracle. Yeah. So many beautiful people.
C'était magnifique. Bonsoir, merci à vous tous d'être là, bienvenue à cette soirée. Donc comme vous l'avez compris, c'est une soirée qui a été co-organisée avec la ville de Nice, la région et l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. Comme on vous l'a dit, elle fête ses 100 ans, en même temps qu'on a inauguré il y a un mois à peu près la saison croisée, et cette inauguration quand même a eu lieu au Grand Palais à Paris par Emmanuel Macron et Benjamin Netanyahou. C'est dire l'intérêt que la France porte à cet échange à la fois social, intellectuel, politique, scientifique. Donc, je voulais vous rappeler quand même que ça fait 100 ans que cette université a été créée. Or, l'État d'Israël a été créé il y a 70 ans. Donc, ces prix Nobel, Einstein, Buber, Weizmann ont eu quand même l'idée de créer cette université sur le mont Scopus dans un endroit vraiment extraordinaire. Et je vous invite vraiment, chaque fois qu'une personne vient avec nous pour faire ce voyage, chaque fois elle revient parce que ça ne vous laisse pas indifférent, c'est émouvant en même temps qu'intéressant et on a l'impression que c'est vraiment extraordinaire. Et c'est donc Einstein qui il y a 100 ans, avec d'autres, on l'a dit, eu dans l'idée de créer l'État d'Israël, de créer cette université sur le mont Scopus. Et comme vous l'avez dit tout à l'heure, avec ce multiculturalisme, et je pense que c'est aussi important de la rappeler. Je vais rappeler aussi que l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem remet chaque année sa plus haute distinction, qui est le prix honoris causa. Et il y a une dizaine d'années, ce prix a été remis à une femme émouvante, exceptionnelle, extraordinaire. Vous avez compris de qui je veux parler. Simone Veil a reçu le prix honoris causa il y a une dizaine d'années à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem, et on a eu l'occasion de partager des moments extraordinaires et inoubliables avec elle. Alors, avant d'aborder ce sujet art et cerveau, évidemment, je voudrais remercier la ville de Nice qui nous accueille dans un endroit exceptionnel, qui a tout organisé pour nous. C'était vraiment magique. Je voudrais évidemment remercier le maire, Christian Estrosi, évidemment toute l'équipe, avec un accent appuyé pour Virginie Atlan, sans qui tout cela ne serait pas possible, mais également la région, parce que j'ai bien compris que, merci Caroline Posmentier, sans vous également, il n'y aurait pas eu cette richesse de vous tous et cette joie de vous voir avec nous. Donc vous êtes venus ce soir pour que l'on discute de l'art et du cerveau, mais non. En fait, vous n'êtes pas venus discuter ou réfléchir assis sur votre chaise tranquillement pour assister à une conférence intellectuelle ou scientifique. Non, vous êtes venus avec nous ce soir pour explorer ce qui se passe dans notre cerveau. Et c'est en ce sens que cette soirée a ce côté un peu particulier de réfléchir ensemble sur les interconnexions, les connexions qui peut y avoir, est-ce qu'il y en a entre l'art et le cerveau? Est-ce que le process créatif de l'artiste est lié à une plasticité particulière de votre cerveau, Monsieur Bernar Venet? Est-ce qu'il y a une prédisposition neurologique à la conception, à la création? C'est ces questions dont on va discuter ce soir. Et pour discuter et travailler ensemble sur ces questions, on a invité un neuroscientifique, on va en parler, ainsi qu'un artiste, on vous l'a évoqué tout à l'heure. Et en fait, quand on réfléchit un peu sur le neuroscientifique et l'artiste, ça paraît un peu lointain comme métier, comme approche, comme milieu. Mais en fait, on se rend compte que les moyens sont très différents, mais l'objectif est le même. C'est comprendre ce qui se passe dans notre cerveau. Alors c'est vrai que le scientifique, le neuroscientifique, il va chercher à comprendre le fonctionnement du cerveau. Mais qu'est-ce que vous allez faire, vous, monsieur l'artiste? En fait, vous nous invitez dans votre cerveau. Vous nous invitez à comprendre ce qui se passe dans votre cerveau, et l'art et l'objet que vous nous présentez est une projection de votre cerveau. Et en comprenant votre cerveau, on se comprend nous-mêmes. Et c'est en ce sens que je parle d'exploration du cerveau. Donc, on vous a parlé des deux invités, donc je vais en dire moi aussi quelques mots pour vous les présenter brièvement avant de les appeler sur scène. Donc, tout d'abord, un neuroscientifique qui est professeur, on vous l'a dit, à l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem, qui s'appelle Idan Segev. En fait, pour nous, ce n'est pas un professeur à l'université, c'est une star. Je vous le dis comme ça, mais voilà. Donc, il dirige le laboratoire de neurosciences lié au computer, il va vous l'expliquer tout à l'heure, et ce qui permet la modélisation et la compréhension de l'activité neuronale. Ne me posez bien sûr aucune question, je serais bien incapable de vous répondre. N'empêche qu'il dirige ce laboratoire dans le centre sur le cerveau dont on vous a parlé tout à l'heure. Et il a été également à l'origine de la création de ce centre sur le cerveau il y a plusieurs années, mais il y a eu un renouveau du centre sur le cerveau car nous avons inauguré, à notre grand moment d'émotion l'année dernière, nous avons inauguré le centre sur le cerveau que l'on appelle l'ELSEC, le centre Edmond et Lily Safra, qui sont pas loin de Nice, qui ont participé, qui sont Edmond et Lily Safra, qui sont des amis, eux aussi, de l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. Et juste une petite parenthèse quand même pour dire que les amis hébraïques de l'université ont participé financièrement aussi à la création d'un laboratoire, d'un couloir, d'un bâtiment, etc. Et c'était notre grande fierté, après 8 ans, d'assister à l'inauguration de ce bâtiment. Alors, ce bâtiment est incroyable, il a été designé, on vous l'a dit peut-être tout à l'heure, je ne sais plus, par Norman Foster, qui a eu l'idée de recréer en fait, dans le design, dans l'architecture du bâtiment, une photographie de l'activité neuronale. Donc c'est impressionnant quand vous arrivez et c'est incroyable. Mais également quand vous rentrez dans le centre sur le cerveau, dans ce centre sur le cerveau, dans ce laboratoire, il y a une grande cour centrale et également comme des interconnexions pour relier des activités à d'autres activités. Pourquoi ? Parce qu'ils ont mis en place en fait ce que nous tous on comprend intuitivement, c'est que seul le neuroscientifique n'a pas la capacité tout seul de travailler et de comprendre la complexité du cerveau. Il est nécessaire qu'il se fasse guider dans son travail par des philosophes, par des mathématiciens, des chimistes, des psychologues, des sociologues, des artistes. Et c'est ce centre, vraiment je vous encourage à aller le visiter parce qu'il est extraordinaire, où vous voyez à l'intérieur aussi le fonctionnement d'un cerveau pour travailler sur cette compréhension du cerveau. Alors on aime tellement ce centre sur le cerveau au sein des amis de l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem qu'on a créé le Brain Circle, qui est aussi une organisation interne à notre association qui permet chaque année pour ces chercheurs de l'université de nous rencontrer pour nous présenter leur travail dans le domaine du cerveau. Je vous invite l'année prochaine, le week-end du 15 mars à Londres, pour partager avec nous ces moments exceptionnels. Alors c'est vrai qu'on se dit, bon, ça va être très théorique, on ne va rien comprendre, c'est très scientifique, mais pas du tout, c'est hallucinant, c'est génial. Chaque fois, il y a des innovations, on a l'impression qu'on fait un bond de 100 ans pour chaque année. C'est fascinant et je vous invite à venir nous rejoindre le week-end du 15 mars à Londres. Donc voilà, oui, j'ai oublié de vous dire quand même que ce centre sur le cerveau est l'un des 5 premiers centres sur le cerveau dans le monde, ce qui est quand même aussi le résumé de son succès à travers les années. Donc à côté de ce neuroscientifique, le professeur Idan Segev, nous avons invité également, mais je ne vous le présente pas, M. Bernar Venet, qui est un de la maison, qui est niçois, que vous êtes né dans les Alpes de Haute-Provence, vous avez démarré votre activité comme assistant décorateur à l'Opéra de Nice, puis vous êtes parti à New York où vous avez travaillé dans des mouvements très radicaux dans l'architecture ou dans le monumentalisme, et puis vous vous êtes fait connaître par vos œuvres monumentales, bien sûr, et puis vous êtes revenu dans notre région. Enfin, je dis notre région, en fait, moi je suis montpelliéraine, donc je ne suis pas très loin de chez vous, de Nice, et vous êtes revenu travailler au sein de votre fondation au MUI, que je n'ai pas encore visité, mais qui paraît est extraordinaire. Voilà, merci d'accueillir nos deux conférenciers, Idan Segev, je ne le vois pas, oui, mais Idan Segev. Ah voilà. Idan Segev n'est pas... Ah voilà, Idan Segev. Et Bernar Venet. Merci beaucoup à tous les deux de nous...
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. It's a big challenge to speak about the brain and its connection to art, but I think it's essential. You can see immediately in these images that there is a difference in my brain and Bernar Venet brain. Something is different there, but there must be a lot of common things, because I hope that we are both creative people. Actually, all of us are creating things all the time, and the idea in this meeting is to discuss with Bernar the notion of creativity. In other words, what makes us human beings so unique that we can create all the time. We can create when we talk to somebody a new sentence that we never said before. We can create some new idea, or we can create a new movement when you dance, or you can create a new metaphor when you speak, or we can create a new equation if you're a scientist like myself, or you can create a new image, a new influential image like Bernard is doing. So what makes us, human, so creative? That's the topic, but specifically, after talking to Bernard in the internet, in the Skype, and also today, we want to speak specifically about chance in creativity. What is this moment of chance? That suddenly something happens without planning, a chance in creativity. And so I would like to cover this aspect from a brain point of view. What does it mean, chance, in terms of brain? And Bernard will discuss his art, his perspective about chance in his creation of art. So this should be interesting, I think, for all of us, for me certainly. And by the end, we hope, after a little discussion between us, because I have many questions to Bernard, maybe he has questions for me, then we would like you, if you want, to ask a few questions so we can make it not only a monologue or a dialogue, but a multilogue between us and you. But before that, I want to just highlight two recent advances that I want you all to know, because all of us are interested in memory and learning. So I want to highlight, before going to this discussion about creativity and chance, I want to highlight two interesting things that happened in our center very recently, last month, that I should really tell you about. So this is the center you already saw, this new building that is now just finished building by Lord Norman Foster. And you know, these are nerve cells. We shall discuss nerve cells later, but this is really the building blocks of the brain is neurons, nerve cells. And so this building is covered by nerve cells because we want to reflect the fact that we are brain building and not something else. These are, by the way, real nerve cells that were taken from the brain of mouse and reconstructed in three-dimensional and then blown to 6 meters high. It's a very special building. You are certainly invited when you are coming to Jerusalem to visit this building. The interesting thing about this building, as you already heard before from Michel, is that it covers different aspects. We don't believe that brain research, we really don't think that you can understand the brain if you think about it only in a biological terms or only in psychological terms, because after all, my biology creates my capability to speak here or to understand something. And so this is behavior. So we need to connect the mechanism of the brain to the behavior of the brain, and this connection between brain mechanism to brain behavior should be done by broad disciplines, for example, physics, computer science, machine learning, and also artists. We shall discuss later, because I think artists knows a lot about the brain of human, otherwise they are successful artists, good artists, know a lot about the brain, because otherwise they would not succeed. So something about the fact that the sculpture of Bernar Venet is successful must mean he doesn't know it. But it's true that he knows something about our brain, because otherwise we would not appreciate it. So we should discuss it. But anyway, in order to have such a center, we are going to build a 30 professor faculty. I'm one of them, but there will be 30 there in this building, and there will be about 300 researchers. And as I said, in different fields, biology, psychology, computer science, physics, and mathematics, in the same building. We are going to break the classical tradition of biologists here, psychologists there, physicists there. We all should sit together to understand this amazing phenomena, really amazing phenomena, that is called the brain. And we deal with actually several projects. So we are 30. We are not going to solve the brain problem in Jerusalem, but we are going to focus on particular issues that are very important for us. Memory, I will say a word about memory and learning, because it is amazing if you think about this, that you now sit and you listen to things, and I hope that you will remember something after that. If not, we did something bad. But if you will remember, I can ask the question, what happens in your brain now that you will remember it maybe forever, if it was a good experience? So what is the mechanism of learning? And of course, what is the mechanism of forgetting? Alzheimer is one mechanism of forgetting, dementia, and other things. So we are focusing on memory and learning, but also in other aspects. I don't know if you know today that the world is now changing, dramatically changing, because of new technology, machine learning. And machine learning, the fact that you can build machine that learns, but not only learn, but changes through learning. So the machine is learning and changing and becomes individual. It's not going to be a replica of the same machine, but each machine will learn separately, and there will come individual machines. This is a big change in our technology and machine learning. So we have a big aspect in our center about brain-machine interface and machine learning, and also about theory. So I should say, I'm a theoretician, that we are not going to understand a complex machine like that without theoretical understanding. It's not going to be by words or by graphs. It's going to be by theoretical understanding, by equations, mathematical. If we shall understand the brain, it will be using theoretical tools like physics and mathematics. Our center is one of the biggest centers in the world in what is called brain theory or theoretical neuroscience. But let me give you a very brief introduction to new results, really shocking results, and this is done by a new faculty in Bal Goshen with her 2 students. By the way, we are very proud that our center has 50% student women and 50% student men. So it's not anymore, I think it's really, and in this case it's all women. You can see this result came from a researcher woman, a very bright woman that we recruited as a new professor in our center, and 2 of her students, Adar, you see, and Adi. They found something shocking, really. Even for me, when I talk about this, I feel this little goose in my skin, because I myself, being in the field so many years, I didn't even envision that this could be done. So you know that the brain is built from 2 types of cells. You saw already in the building the nerve cells, neurons. Everybody knows that the brain is built from nerve cells. But maybe you don't know that there is another type of cell in the brain. It's called glia cells, astrocytes, or glia cells. Glia from glue. They thought that these cells they look like this. These are not nerve cells. These are glia cells. And these cells, we thought until recently that the role of this cell is to glue the nerve cells, so to put them together, to support them energetically, to help them survive. But we didn't realize until recently that this other cell type, which is 50% of the brain, so 50% are nerve cells, 50% are glia cells. These cells, this is found just last month, that if you succeed to activate these cells, make them active, by a new technology that is called optogenetics, you can activate only these cells, not the nerve cells, but only these cells. There is a huge improvement of memory of the mouse. This is done on mouse. So the mouse needs to find the cheese here, the hamburger there. He needs to learn the space, the maze. And you can improve the capability of the mouse to navigate and to remember the space much, much better than before by activating this type of cells rather than the neurons. This is a new result. It's very optimistic results, because if we should succeed to activate these cells in human brain, then we shall have much better chance to control diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia and so forth. This is a new direction, because we always thought that we have to treat neurons, but now we need to understand that we have to activate these other cell types. This is a very big event. We are very proud of it, of course. It was in all television and radio and CNN and I don't know where, because this is a big result which you should all know, that we are really progressing into understanding memory problems, and we now realize that this other cell type is not only glia, it really helps memory. And actually in Alzheimer's disease, these are the first cells that die. It's not the neurons that die, it's these cells that die in Alzheimer's. So that's a new result that we are very proud of. There is another result by another new fellow, Dr. Amit Sitri, and this is his team. You can see that there are so many women, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50-50. So Amit Sitri found, and I'm not going to go into it because I really want to talk about art and creativity, Amit Sitri found something really shocking, that if you learn something new now, I can look at your genome, at the genes, and I can find what has changed in your genes, or what we call gene expression. The genes are static, but some of them are being expressed when you learn something new, and some of them, others are being suppressed. So when you learn something new, like the mouse learns to go to the right or go to the left, there are gene expression, because this gene should generate the memory traces. Amit Sitri found, the genes that encode new experience. So if you have now a new experience, there are genes that now are active, and he could record these genes or measure these genes post-mortem of mouse that learn something. Then you sacrifice the mouse and you can read the memory of the mouse post-mortem. So you can learn, just looking at the gene of the mouse, what did the mouse learn before he died. That's amazing that you can read memory post-mortem. This was another success of understanding memory in our center. So this is just a little glimpse, a little injection of interesting things that are happening around memory in our center. There are other things like machine learning and robots, avatars, things like that. I'm not going to talk about this. Just to summarize, that this is the biggest center today in the world in terms of PhD program in this integrative, broad view, Renaissance, Da Vinci view. Like we want each one of them to be Leonardo da Vinci, you see? So they must know mathematics, physics, computer science, cognitive psychology, biology, psychology, and all that. These are Renaissance people. They are much, much better than me, for sure. I would not be accepted to this program. Okay, so let's talk about our topic. First of all, I need to tell you a little bit, why do I think that it's essential that I personally, as a scientist, will meet artists? I think it's extremely important, and I think we don't do it enough. So I'm very lucky to come here to Nice, enjoy the city, enjoy the audience, but also enjoy a meeting with an artist, because this is something we don't do enough, and I want to convince you that it's essential. It's not just for fun, it's essential. So why do art and science should meet in my view, not only in my view, but it's not happening enough. I want to cite an artist that I think is a great artist, Juan Miro. You all know Juan Miro, he said artists, and I add brain scientists, share a common goal, to understand the alphabet of the mind. So he said, Miro used the term alphabet of the mind. I need to understand the principles of how does the brain, the mind works. So that's what Miro said. He said, I want to understand the alphabet of the mind. I also want to understand the alphabet of the brain. So we have something in common. We need to understand this phenomena of the brain using different tools. I'm using science, mathematics in my brain. Bernard is using something else. Maybe he's also using mathematics. We shall hear later what does he use. And that's the other thing. The other reason to meet is the need to meet the other. I meet too much similar people like myself. We tend to meet people that are ourselves, little copy of myself. I meet another scientist, very good friends and very good scientists. But we are within our own language. I think we need to meet somebody else, different, creative, intelligent, but different, because we need a friction. We need people that don't agree with us. We need people that are different than us. Then ideas may come through the friction between the two cultures. This is a very important book by C.P. Snow that I highly recommend everybody to read. A very small book, it's called The Two Cultures. He means science and arts. This book is essential for somebody who wants to integrate knowledge, like in the brain of Leonardo da Vinci, who was both an artist and a scientist. So that's another reason. Another reason is the following. You know that artists, for example, Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo, used to study a lot the human body. They knew anatomy very well, but they didn't know physiology. They didn't understand how the visual system works or the auditory system works, and musicians and visual people that are working with vision or with painting or with the poetry, they don't understand the process, not the anatomy, the physiology of the brain. I think it would be very good for artists to learn the processes underlying their creativity. I think it will add a facet to artists if they will learn from scientists. But of course, we need to learn from artists. You see, we, the scientists, could learn from artists because, as I said before, Miro, when he put this red spot here and blue spot there, and you look at it and you think it's beautiful art, he must know something about my brain that I don't know. So we should discuss with them why Bernard thinks that this and this together is good, and this together is not good. Why do I enjoy this and not enjoy that? Maybe they don't know to articulate it, but we can learn a lot from them about our brain, because they are good artists and they tap about the brain when they do good art. And the last thing I want to say is that art opens new possibilities for the brain. There is something new in the world. An imagination of an artist creates something new that was not there before. I'm going and being influenced by that. These new things, as you will hear in a second, generate new states, new ideas in my brain. So artists in many ways are much before scientists in moving the world ahead. You can see it in Jules Verne writing 100 years before. He already envisioned things. Many artists, perspective and all that, they envisioned many things much before the artists thought about this. Actually, I don't know if you know, the word artist come much before the word scientist. Artists really sometimes can lead the world by their new creation, which moves the world towards new directions. So I think they are essential for us to generate our creativity. And of course, the last thing, but that's personal, meeting Bernar Venet is just a joy. I enjoy it, so that's a very good reason to do it. Yes. A personal reason. Okay, so let me start with the talk. So I'm sure you know that Homo sapiens, so we are all Homo sapiens, yes? There is no other animal here beside the Homo sapiens. Maybe there is a cat there, I don't know. But Homo sapiens is very recent phenomena. Something on the order of 200,000 years, between 200 and 300,000 years, there was no Homo sapiens in the world. It's very new in the evolution. And suddenly there is this 7.5 billion Homo sapiens here. Within 50 years, we shall be more than 10 billion, which is another problem to discuss later, maybe. But this is a very new phenomena without genetic change. So this period of time, there is no genetic change. We are the same species for the last 300,000 years. But still, we do new things all the time. This is called the cultural evolution. So in this period of time, there is no genetic change that can explain why did I develop language, and why did I develop mathematics, and why did I develop abstract art. There is no genetic change. So how do we generate something that could be generated? It could be generated already 300,000 years ago, but it's not generated 300,000 years ago. You can see art is very new, language is very new, science is even newer. Cell phone is very new, but it's the same brain. The same brain that could do it 300,000 years ago didn't do it. It does it now. And it will do new things in the next 10 years, 20 years. It's going to change the world. It's the same brain. What makes this creative brain generate new things? Of course, art started here. Shocking art, amazing art. This is the oldest cave that was found until today. If you didn't visit, you really should visit this cave. This is another well-known cave, of course, south of France, north of Spain, Altamira. And in the same period of time, there is this invention of art. Suddenly, a brain of several artists in the world, Homo sapiens, decided to do suddenly strange thing, to go in a cave with a painting and draw from memory. Because, of course, they didn't carry the bison into the cave. They didn't carry the horse into the cave. They carry the memory. And they could generate memory into the cave walls. Or they could generate these things. About the same time, 30,000 years ago, 35,000 years ago, this is a very well-known, the Lion Man, and these Aphrodites. There is a recent finding in Israel which is much, much older, maybe even not done by Homo sapiens. If it's a real piece of art, this is not clear. This was found in the Golan Heights, a very old sculpture, still debatable whether it's nature who did it or human did it, but anyway, this is very old, so we are not sure about that, but about 30,000 years ago, there is this invention, and suddenly there is another invention sitting here, and this is this invention. We shall hear about that. A progress in art. So there is a constant progress in this creativity. Okay, so we are most creative. We are very creative all the time. What is the mechanism in your brain that makes us creative? That's the question I want to discuss now. What makes us unique? So I want to highlight 5 hypotheses about what makes us so creative, much more than any other animal, including the Neanderthals that disappeared. They were not creative enough, apparently. Otherwise, they would not disappear. So I want to tell you about 5 ideas that we know that are related to creativity. But before that, I need to explain one thing for all of us to understand, is what does it mean when I speak about brain state? When I say brain state, what do I, as a scientist, what do I mean? Because I want to claim that creativity is a certain state of the brain. When you are creative, the brain is in a certain state, or states, many aspects of creativity. So I want to give an example very difficult example, very clear example about what does it mean brain state, a state of the brain. I want to use Parkinson as an example, Parkinson disease. So this is Hagai Bergman, working with scientists in Grenoble about 15 years ago, recording from a brain of a monkey, actually, in this particular region. It's called the basal ganglia. It's a deep region in the brain. It's not on the surface, it's not below the skull, it's deep in the brain. When you record from this region, in this example, 3 nerve cells, the electrical activity of 3 nerve cells, you can see this electrical activity, which we call spikes. So it's like a barcode, but it's electrical activity, ta 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 ta, stop, ta 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 ta. I'm just doing the electrical activity of a single cell in the brain in this region. This is another cell that fires more vigorously, ta 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 ta. This is another cell that fires less, tak, 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 tak. All are using a signal that is called spike, which is 1/10 of a volt. It's a small signal in the brain. That's the electrical activity in your brain. Nerve cells know to generate electrical activity. So this is a normal state. This is non-Parkinsonian state, if you are not Parkinsonian. But if a person is Parkinsonian, if he has Parkinson, in this same region, there is a new state of the brain, electrical state. This is a new state. You can see this activity here. You see the cells, the firing, the electrical activity completely changed. And instead of firing, each one has its own activity. The cells start to fire together in a burst of activity. So, trrrt, stop, trrrt, stop. And all of them is doing it together. So the whole network of about 1 million nerve cells together fire, ta-ta-ta-ta, stop, like a machine gun, ta-ta-ta-ta, stop, ta-ta-ta-ta, stop, in this region. This is the state of the brain that is Parkinsonian state. The outcome is Parkinsonian tremor and everything that you know about Parkinson. But this is what I call a state of the brain. I want to claim that creativity is a specific state of the brain. When you are creative, the brain gets into a state, into a specific state that can generate new things. E equal mc square Einstein, a sculpture, an idea in my laboratory. It's a state of my brain. And this is an example of a state. Unfortunately, it's a Parkinsonian state, but it's a state. Also, when you sleep, you're in a state of sleep. The brain has this activity. When you are dreaming, there is another state. It's another state of the brain. You know today that we can repair a little bit, we can repair this state, bringing it back to this state from the Parkinsonian state to the normal state by putting electrical signals, deep brain stimulation in your brain. So this is a battery. You can inject electrical signals into the brain, into this region, and repair the symptoms of Parkinson. And this is one example from Jerusalem, from the Hebrew University. If I can activate this, you can see a Parkinsonian patient here. A Parkinsonian patient, actually quite young, 58 years old, who enabled us to photograph him. A Russian immigrant to Israel is very sick with Parkinson. He cannot do things like that, for example. He cannot manipulate his body. This is Parkinson. But when you inject this electrical activity, you move the state from the Parkinson state to a normal state by this electrical activity. Okay, so I don't need to show you more, but this is the same person just after the operation, getting this deep brain stimulation into the brain, and this is what happens. This is the same person. This is now very common. You have it in France, you have it in Grenoble, you have it in Paris, deep brain stimulation to repair the state of Parkinson, to bring it back to the state of normal state, okay? So this is a person that does things that Parkinsonian person cannot do because he gets now this deep brain stimulation. So I use it just to explain a state of your brain that could be creative or Parkinsonian, you can be asleep or depressed. These are states. Okay, now I hope you understood what it means, a state, brain state, electrical state of the brain. Now I want to show you what is unique about our brain that enables you to bring you into a state of creativity. So what is unique about the human brain? That doesn't have, chimpanzees do not have it and nobody else has it because we are the only creative person. Actually, there are some chimpanzees who likes to draw, but I don't know if you can call them big artists or not big artists, but some chimpanzees like to draw. Anyway, let's look at it. So first of all, I should tell you it's not the size of the weight of your brain. You know that Einstein was one of the most creative person ever, and he had very, very small brain. This 1.2 kilogram is much below everything here. Everybody here has more than 1.2, I can assure you. Although I didn't measure you when you entered, but you have bigger than 1.2. And also Anatole France, that you all know, Nobel laureate in literature, had an amazing small brain, very small brain, but still he wrote his thing. So it's not the weight of the brain. You cannot say this guy has a big brain, he's going to be more creative. This one has a small brain, he will be less creative. No. So that's no. But what is yes? This is something very unique to the human brain. So I just show you an example of a few brains of mammals, monkeys, chimpanzees, and all that. And this is the number of your cell, the number of the cells in your brain. How many nerve cells, I'm now talking about the nerve cells, how many nerve cells you have in your brain. You can see that we have a huge amount, so 100 billion, almost 100 milliard. It's a huge number of microchips. When you have a machine with such a big number of microchips, there is a good chance that it can do a lot of computation. Because this is, after all, a computational machine. We do computations. So when you have many, many elements, you can do a lot of states. This can work and this not, this can work and this not. You have many combination of states. So creativity could emerge from the number of elements. Not only, but of course, if you had only 2 cells in your brain, you cannot be very creative, because it could be only this or that, the 2 of them, or nobody. No many states. That's one aspect. The other certain aspect that is very unique to the human brain is the connectivity between regions. So there is a new technology that enables me to see how much this region is connected to this region with fibers. Okay? It's an MRI technology, but advanced MRI technology, and you can see what happens in the connectivity between this region to this region, or this region to this region, to mouse, to chimpanzee, to human. You can see by eye how much we are connected brain. Our brain is very connected. So when something happens here, immediately there is activity here, because information flows from one region to another region. Very, very intense connectivity. This is called the white matter. Most of our brain is this white matter, the fibers that connect one region to the other. Why this is so important for creativity? Because, for example, let's say that I want to invent a concept now. I want to be very creative. I want to invent a concept. This is a concept. I call it bottle. Bottle is a concept. It's a bottle. But when I say bottle, we all agree that this is bottle now. When I say bottle, we all think about the shape, which is visual, the touch. Now this is plastic. It's a plastic bottle. So I have the touch. It also have a taste, because this is water and not juice. And maybe it has also smell. So when I say a bottle, I just said a bottle, I mean at least 4 things. I mean shape, which is vision. I mean touch, which is another region in the brain. I mean smell. I mean taste. So you need, in order to have a concept of something, you need region to be connected. you need the visual region, which is here in your brain, to be connected to another region, so the activity here and here and here and here together will represent a bottle. Otherwise, if it's not connected, you will have a visual bottle, you will have a touch bottle, but it won't be the same bottle. It will be two separate things. You cannot have a language, which is the most creative things that we did, language. You cannot have a language if the brain is not heavily connected. So creativity, language comes from this connectivity. I want to show you something about the connectivity in the brain. In a small piece of a brain, how much elements you have, how much connected the elements are. This is coming from a project I'm part of. It's called the Blue Brain Project. It's a very well-known project today. I'm doing it with Henry Markham in Geneva together. And this Blue Brain Project is a project to reconstruct pieces of the brain and model it in the computer. So this is a Blue Brain Project. This is a cubic millimeter. It's a pinhead. It's an extremely small piece of the brain. And this is the jungle in your brain. This is one cell, all the fibers, many connections between this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell. This is what happens in your brain in a cubic millimeter. And all these things are connected to each other, and information flows from here to here, from here to here. And this is what causes a state in the brain. Many states. If this is working, it's Parkinson. If this and this is not working, it's something else. It's sleep, it's creative, many aspects like this. I just want to show you that our brain is more connected than any other brain in the world, especially in the cortex. And also, it takes time for the network to be connected. So for example, if you look at the brain of a child at the age of 1 month, and you look at the network of neurons in this brain, you see that they are not well connected at the age of 1 month. The neurons are there, but they are not highly connected yet. It takes 6 years for a brain to come from this connectivity to this connectivity. We are very slow in development. Our brain develops extremely slow, very slow. And this is very important, because if your brain, like in the chimpanzee case, is fully developed after 3 months, then it will be very difficult to learn new things, to adapt to this complicated world with all the demands, emotional demands, learning, plasticity, this and that, iPhones, cell phones, computers, teacher, mother, father, very complex world around us. You need a slow development, and this is what our brain enables, a very slow development to absorb, to understand, to learn the world. We are very slow in development, but also we have the largest number of connections per cell. So if you look at an individual cell in your brain and you ask how many cells connect to it, I'm one cell, how many cells connect to me? 30,000. One cell, one microchip gets 30,000 connections. Much more than any other animal. This is, for example, mouse, much below. You see that we are always above everything else. So this intense connectivity, both between regions, but also locally, is certainly part of being able to generate many states, including new states like creativity. Finally, and this is going to be the most difficult part of my talk, but I think the most interesting part of my talk, relating to chance and creativity, because we discussed to talk about chance. I want to show you electrical recording from one cell. So this is individual cell here, recorded in the lab of Jerusalem from a friend of mine, Yossi Arom. So you can put an electrode into this cell, inside the cell, and record the electrical activity of this cell without any stimulation. Just the basic activity. And you can see something strange. You see this? These cells, these microchips, are all the time noisy, electrically. They all the time do a little bit of activity, spontaneously, by chance. Nobody stimulated. This is something very, very unique to brain, because, for example, this computer in order for this computer to be reliable, deterministic, whenever I push 1, there is on the screen 1 and not suddenly 2. So this has to have a very low noise. And there is a lot of effort to reduce the noise in the computer so it will be reliable. It will be deterministic. Our brain is noisy. It's not deterministic. It's fluctuating all the time. So when I see a glass, for example, when I see this bottle once, and then I see the same bottle again, my brain interprets it a little bit different from time to time because of this internal noise. For me, this noise is the origin of creativity because you all the time move to new places. And if your brain is very creative, you will have a lot of noise. I'm sure that Bernard doesn't know, but his brain is very noisy. And I don't know if you know,